Hi there, I'm Carrie Ellis, author of the 21st Century Superhuman book series. And today I have with me Raymond Keller, who is the author of a whole bunch of books on Venus, and he's traveled to Venus. Raymond, you'll need to unmute yourself. Yes. And how are you today?
I'm fine, Carrie. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your program.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You have such interesting things to share. I've had people watching our shows and messaging me and saying, wow, did he really do this? And so you've had like a lifetime of being contacted and having adventures with extraterrestrials, correct?
Yes, that is correct. All the way back to the 1960s.
Wow. Can you just tell us a little bit about kind of how that has worked in your life?
Well, I realized that I was put here on the earth for a very special reason after I had open heart surgery at the Pittsburgh VA hospital 5 years ago. I had quadruple bypass surgery, the
Wow.
same operation that Bill Clinton had. And well, they actually took my heart out of my body and worked on it. I was on artificial life support, and I had an out of body experience where I met my higher self, and that began my process of choosing to return to Earth and to provide the illumination that comes from my 6 books about the mysteries of the planet Venus so far.
Nice. Yes. So today we're going to talk about this is isn't this your latest book, the Flying Saucers and the Venus Legacy? Is that one of your more recent books? Well, besides the
I
Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary, which we also talked about.
Oh yes, well, the latest book is Flying Saucers and the Venus Legacy. There's
Hold it
the
down. Oh yeah, look how beautiful that woman is. Wow, look at that.
and all the books are very slick, beautifully illustrated. Over 100 photos and illustrations in each one. And today, though, we were scheduled to talk about the process of starseed activation. So, going to the very first book, this is the first one in the series, Venus Rising, A Concise History of the Second Planet. And
Nice.
when I wrote this book, there were surveys that had come out by various agencies like Gallup and others, estimating that some 45 million Americans had seen UFOs. But then it also stated that there were 15 million Americans that actually believe that they have had a close encounters with the occupants of the flying saucers in one way or another. Some kind of communication link was actually established. And I thought, wow, that's about 4.5% of the total population of the United States.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I didn't think it was any coincidence that these individuals were uh, were selected. So I was looking back in the history of my UFO notes and everything, and I found that Brad Steiger, he was one of the early pioneering ufologists. He's written
Is he
several dozen
is he who
books.
wrote Contact?
Yes, and
Yeah.
he also wrote the book called Star People. And
Mm.
he identified 41 different areas that people can look at in their own personal life to see if they might be star seeds that are here on Earth. Now, as star seeds that are incarnated on Earth, uh, we're bringing illumination and enlightenment to the people of this planet, changing them one heart at a time. Uh,
Yes.
we're not here really so much to get involved in in political systems and so forth. But we are working behind the scenes as individuals when we discover what our mission is here on Earth. We all have a certain mission.
Yes. Can I
And,
jump in a second? Go ahead.
oh,
Finish
sure,
your thought
sure.
because I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, yes. Well, my mission I understood to be as a longtime member of the Theosophical Society. It's interesting to note that the co-founder of the group, Helena Blavatsky, the very first thing she ever wrote in the 1880s in 1885 was History of a Planet, which was all about Venus and the mysteries of Venus in an esoteric sense.
Wow.
And so 135 years later, I realized that what my mission on Earth, what I was born to do, was to provide an update for the information on our closest planetary neighbor and the inhabitants thereof, the Venusians, and what they're doing here on Earth.
Nice. Let me toss out a couple things. One is what we've talked about before is that they really live in multiple dimensions, and maybe you can talk about that a little bit. And you actually had your first contact experience when you were 15. So you've had kind of a lifetime, even though 5 years ago when you had your surgery, you realized kind of more importantly your mission and more clearly, but you've still had a whole lifetime of being involved with the UFO experience.
Yes, and as my background as a historian, all my books are thoroughly footnoted. Chicago Manual of Style, 14th edition. In the very first book, there's over 600 footnotes. It's a very thick book, and everything can be checked out and verified. You know, it's not science fiction. And when I talk about a queen on Venus, when I talk about the bees and their connection to Venus, Fibonacci numbers, Tesla, and everything, it's all documented, thoroughly documented, and can be checked out. It's not just some made up story.
Right. And let's note Rob Potter is not with us today. We thought he was going to be, but he's doing some things for, I think, the History Channel or the Discovery Channel, I think, actually, which is really
Oh,
exciting.
wow.
But he has all of your books for sale on his website, and they're also for sale on Amazon. But those links are going to be under this video, so anybody who catches this video will be able to find the links there.
Oh, thank you, Carrie. That's outstanding.
Yes.
Well, let me go over this Starseed activation a little bit.
Okay, that would be great.
There's a whole chapter in the very first book, and I've divided it into physical, emotional, extraterrestrial experiences, out-of-body experiences, metaphysical experiences, and psychic development. So let's just go over today. We'll just go over it real quick because there are 41 areas here, and if people recognize some of these characteristics and similarities in their own life and lifestyle, then perhaps they are one of the Starseeds. We know from Dr. Frank Stranges and others, Brad Steiger, other UFO investigators and researchers of astroarchaeology like Dr. George Hunt Williamson and so forth, that this civilization that we have on Earth right now isn't the very first one. When the Bible talks about the beginning of recorded time for our civilization, going back about 4,000 to 5,000 BC, that wasn't the first rodeo, so to speak.
Yes.
That there have been many civilizations that have come and gone, and even the Bible tells us about in the previous times there were angels, the Book of Enoch, angelology, and so forth. So I believe that the star seeds that are here on Earth today have some connection that
Yes.
we're very special because we have some connection to these ancient civilizations that were connected with extraterrestrial colonies. And if you
Right.
that kind of thing is real,
Very good.
Zachariah Stitchin's books and everything are a
Yeah.
real starter.
So go ahead. What are those 45 starseed qualities, or 41?
Oh, okay.
Zip
Yes,
through those for us. And we can
let me
say hi to
pull.
Chris Brown, who's listening. Hi, Chris. Good to have you
Oh,
here
great.
today.
Okay, and let's go to. Let's see. We're going
Chris
to
is
the.
asking if there's any updates from the Queen of Venus.
Oh, any updates? Okay, none right now, but there probably will be in as we move on uh, into the future. So I'm going to start with the first slide here, and these are the physical attributes of the star seeds.
Nice.
Uh, okay, can you see those?
Oops, hold on a second. I think I need to give you permission to share. Just a second.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead. Okay. Now go ahead and share your screen.
okay. Now let's hope this comes
And
up.
let's
Okay,
see.
okay, and we'll go from the current slide.
Uh,
That up there?
Hold on a second. Let me see here. Let me see if I can move this. Sorry, this is my. Oh, there we go. Okay. Go ahead and talk about it. Can you see that, Raymond?
Um, yes, I have it. It said you are screen sharing on
Yes.
mine.
And it looks really good. So go ahead. It says compelling
Oh,
eyes.
yes. Oh, okay, great. So that's up there. Well, you probably saw Jupiter Ascending in 2015. Mila Kunis played the character of Jupiter Jones. She was just a common cleaning lady who one day discovered that she was an alien queen and went through some fantastic adventures in the Jupiter system. But many
Nice.
ETs on Earth sport compelling eyes, which have best been described as beauteous, breathtaking, comely, dazzling, divine, etc., etc. So if anyone has commented on your compelling eyes, then you probably fall in this category. There's Mila Kunis right there.
Beautiful.
And then another physical characteristic would be great magnetism and personal charisma. In an article in a psychological development magazine, Jan Mercer said that biological factors determine an individual's temperament. And within seconds of meeting someone in person, we just know whether someone is interesting, annoying, funny, sharp, or seemingly easy to get along with. First impressions are usually gut impressions and often right on. Not always, but usually.
Cool.
So,
Now let's.
having great magnetism and so forth, and little
Cute.
little drawing there, having a magnetic personality like you, Carrie.
Yeah. So these are the characteristics of star seeds. Cool. Let's keep zipping through these, Raymond. Very nice.
Okay. Then sensitivity to electricity and electromagnetic fields. Some star seeds, when they walk through scanners and metal,
Yes.
or they're in the vicinity of electrical equipment, suddenly everything goes on the fritz. Like in the
Yes.
movie, remember the movie Powder?
Yes.
When that boy was advancing to the next level of cosmic evolution.
You
And
know,
then,
yeah, a lot of times when I get close to people that have had shots, I can feel an electromagnetic wave coming off of them. Very interesting.
oh, Oh, yeah, yeah. And sometimes, when we're shaking hands with somebody, there's that electrical shock, and we're not even
Right.
sitting on a carpet.
Yeah.
It's just that that uh, uh, that ionization, that extra ionization going on there.
Right.
So studies show that the core body temperature decreases with age. But what's interesting with the star seeds is that the body temperature is generally lower than normal. So it's a little pun here. Original inhabitant of Ursa Major star system,
Right.
the
Beautiful.
North Star.
Yes, I've always had lower than normal body temperature, as do a lot of other people I know. That makes perfect sense. Yes.
So we as Starseeds, we're in love with Klondike bars. So there's a commercial there. Some starseeds also suffer from chronic sinitis. So acute sinitis can be triggered by cold or allergies, and chronic sinitis lasts up to 8 weeks. So keep in mind that this world is not our own. Hence, we might be more prone to earth allergies, that we've gotten off at the wrong stop.
There you
Here's,
go.
here's somebody suffering from chronic
Right.
sinitis. Then there's the case of extra or transitional vertebrae. Lumbar sacral transitional vertebrae consists of the process of the last lumbar vertebrae fusing with the first sacral segment. Now, what's interesting here is that this is very common and prevalent in people with A negative blood, or generally negative, the negative blood factor.
Interesting.
And so when we look at the average human being, they have 1 to 5 segments. But the starseeds have the extra vertebrae indicated here with the L6. So a lot of
Interesting.
people in the Basque country have that, and they call this extra vertebrae a cadwa.
Interesting. Wow.
Then there's a hypersensitivity to sound and light and odors. ETs come from planets of peace and tranquility and often find it difficult in adjusting to conditions facilitating sensual overload on Earth. If you often find yourself in such a situation, then you're probably a starseed as well.
Nice.
So here we have sound, odors, and light.
Boy, that's familiar.
Driving us crazy.
Yep. There you go.
Living on the earth plane, on the
That's
material world.
That's right.
Then swollen or painful joints. Starseeds coming from planets with lower gravity than Earth will often find themselves suffering from swollen or painful joints during their incarnations here. I have a friend, her name is Omnek Onek. She's an ambassador from a higher dimension of Venus. And we first met on the physical plane and we noticed that we were both walking with canes. We joked about the rough time we had walking around on Earth, since the gravity here is 19% more than it is on Venus. It's myself with Lady Omnek.
Very nice.
So there's a pain in the back of the neck. Some other physical maladies can be attributed to living in a higher environment as well. Your neck is made up of vertebrae that extend from the skull to the upper torso. The bones, ligaments, and muscles support your head and allow for motion. Sometimes a pain in the neck, though, can just come from dealing with intransigent earthlings who keep on insisting that you are the crazy one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
score yourself in this category if you find yourself in such situations. Okay, then we have Adversely affected by high humidity, atmospheric conditions on planets inhabited in the third dimension and higher by advanced beings are regulated for maximum comfort and most closely approximate the brisk coolness found when there is a high count of negative ions in the Earth's atmosphere, such as right before a thunderstorm. Starseeds feel right at home in this type of environment. And by the way, negative ions are very good uh, for for your health overall. A lot
Right.
of people will put negative ionizers in their home. Uh, it can improve breathing, relieve tiredness, strengthen bones, clean out arteries, regulate heartbeat. Um, so all the benefits of negative ions.
Nice.
And then survived a life-threatening illness or severe accident or trauma because we were meant to discover what our mission is here on Earth and to complete it. So a lot of times it looks like we've been given a second chance, and we gain that perspective on our higher purpose.
Beautiful.
So now we're going to look at some of the emotional attributes of the star seeds. One is a tremendous urgency to fulfill a perceived mission in life. Everyone dreams of winning the race, achieving success, and living the dream. Most people aren't willing to endanger their current way of life by taking action and doing the work to get to that point. But those who do live their lives with a sense of of urgency are very persistent in working toward that goal. So if you don't know why you were born on Earth, consider these words of wisdom from the great author of the 19th century, Mark Twain, who said, "The two most important days in your life are one, the day you were born, and two, the day you find out why."
Very nice.
So those with extraterrestrial or ultra-dimensional connections usually experience a sense of oneness with the universe.
Yes.
In other words, you can easily identify with everyone and everything around you.
Beautiful. Love that picture.
Oh, yeah, I like that too. Expansion of cosmic consciousness,
Yes.
astral consciousness. So many starseeds have difficulty in dealing with or expressing emotions. Some may have a chemical imbalance created by polluted conditions on this planet that affect our emotions as well as our physical health, kind of putting us on an emotional roller coaster.
Cute.
So I think we could all identify with some of these emotions.
Right.
So then we're coming to part 3, which are extraterrestrial experiences. So the first thing is, if you firmly believe in life on other planets and you're really obsessed and interested about UFOs, there's probably not a coincidence. It's not just a mere coincidence. You may very well be an individual with a starseed connection. Also, do you believe that you've lived on another planet and can actually tell about it? Do you have dreams that are so vivid that they seem like regular recollections of actually living whole lifetimes on other planets?
So Raymond, I thought we were going to do a show on flying saucers today, but is this different? We're doing it on the qualities of starseeds.
Oh, yes, that's what I had gotten from Rob and put on the calendar from when we
Oh, okay. So this
that
is
we
a
were
different show than I was thinking. So,
right, that we were just doing the starseed connection today,
okay,
and then the next one was because that was from book 1,
okay,
and then we would do the flying saucers and the Venus legacy book number 6 on the next
Okay.
exciting
I'll have to
episode.
change our I'll have to change our cover and our title, but that's okay, no
Oh,
problem. Go ahead.
okay. So do you believe you've encountered ETs, multidimensional entities, or beings of light? And do you believe that you've had telepathic communication with an alien entity, either at a physical or a non-physical level of awareness? And it's interesting that the various surveys that people have taken where they have said that they've been in contact with flying saucer occupants, they never said whether it was on a physical, spiritual, or psychic level. But it could be one or the other, or it could be a combination of both. And then do you believe that you received some form of communication from a higher source, either an angel, an ET? Billy Graham, the late evangelist, said that he didn't see any difference between angels and aliens, and he wouldn't be surprised if angels were arriving on the earth in flying saucers. And then we look at out-of-body experiences, and that would come the first category of NDEs, or near-death experiences, like the one that I described at the beginning of the program, and out-of-body experiences. Some say there's like a silver cord, or others just experience a sense of floating, just floating out of their body above all the cares and concerns of the material world. And then metaphysical experiences. Are you familiar with spirit guides or guardian angels? If you believe that you have one or more spirit guides or guardian angels, then give yourself points in this category as well. And holy figures. If you believe you've been blessed by the appearance of a holy figure, this may also be a link to some higher dimension, or possibly an extraterrestrial source. So when the Bible talks about the heavens, and in my house there are many mansions, then we're talking about the presence of these highly evolved beings, angelic beings, or saintly or godly entities. Intense religious experiences at any time in your life. This is an evangelist and healer from the early 20th century, Amy Semple McPherson in Los Angeles. Then a God or creative source of energy. If you have a belief in a creative energy source, then this would also be another indication of an extraterrestrial connection with the heavens. And miracles, believing in miracles. Miracles are very real, and in my books, I have in various encounters in Russia and other countries, and the United States, where people have been healed by contact with angelic beings and even the occupants of flying saucers. Invisible playmates. Have you ever enjoyed the company of an invisible playmate when you were growing up? Not everybody has, but if you have, that may be an indication of a starseed connection as well. And also elves, wee persons, fairies, leprechauns, etc. If you've encountered an elf, a wee person, a fairy, leprechaun, or other small magical entity, then this may also be an indication with contact to other dimensions or extraterrestrials.
So,
And then,
yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
okay, ghosts. Who you going to call, right? I don't know who you contact in your neck of the woods, but if you've seen a ghost, give yourself the appropriate points in this category.
So, Raymond, we've got a couple of questions from our listeners. One is Chris is asking, will the Venusians make themselves known to the public? And then Mark is saying, this is very interesting. I feel relieved to find myself check marking so many items on the list. Yeah, Chris says Ghostbusters.
Okay. Well, the Venusians are working behind the scenes. They don't come out openly. They work on many levels, not just the material dimension, but higher dimensions as well. And their purpose here on Earth is not to solve all of our problems, but to help us on the individual path of spiritual development and ascension.
What if somebody really wanted to meet with one of them personally? Could they send out those thoughts or do prayers or, I don't know,
Oh
envision
yeah.
the possibility?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Um, and one of the best ways uh, to do that is to uh, be in places where UFOs and alien entities are going to frequent, where you might come in contact with them.
So how would you find that? I mean, the one place I can think of is like James Gilliland's ranch, out in
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oregon.
that's a good place.
Uh,
And of course, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3 says that we should always be kind to one another, for know ye not that ye entertain angels unawares.
yes.
For those for those viewers and listeners today, they may very well have been in contact with extraterrestrials on many occasions without even realizing it, and they may have been blessed by their presence in many ways, or even healed without them realizing it. Well,
Nice.
one thing I have to say about attempting to contact supernatural entities, that it's better if we're dealing with spirits, especially, to let them initiate the contact if they want to let you know, because there's various entities out there, and although Paul Hellyer has said that more than 80% of them that are coming to the earth and living and working among us on various levels have good intentions. The other 20% is kind of so-so.
Right. And Chris is saying, yeah, Mount Shasta being a good location. I'd say, yeah, definitely, for
Oh,
sure.
oh yeah.
And probably a lot of the sacred sites, really.
Okay, then we have reincarnation. Reincarnation, if you believe in reincarnation, um, that may be an indication that long ago you began your schooling, your journey here on Earth, uh, coming from another planet, and that when you leave this Earth, um, perhaps you might be in your last reincarnation, and then you'll ascend to yet a higher level to some other celestial orb. I like this cartoon. Since both of us believe in reincarnation, what if I pay you all the money I owe you in the next life?
Cute.
Okay, then memories from past lives or parallel worlds. Um, this is the album jacket from The Highwayman by Wayne Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Johnny Cash, and Chris Christopherson.
Oh, that is really cool. I've never seen
It,
that, but it's really
it,
neat.
it, well, you've heard the song, right? The
Right.
Highwayman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd recommend everybody to go on YouTube or whatever and pull up that song, because it really epitomizes the whole idea of reincarnation very, very well. That
Nice.
we're like the cycle of rain, where where uh, precipitates into the clouds and then comes back to the earth, and then a raindrop can fall into the ocean, and it's like the raindrop is representative of the individual consciousness, and then once it returns to the cosmic sea of consciousness, the ocean
Right.
of consciousness. And this is the kind of song that'll really um, bring about an insight into that process of reincarnation. I love that song.
Right. Nice.
And then the last section here that we're running through real rapidly is psychic development. And if you can perform psychic healing on yourself or others, there's an ET connection there, a definite one. The meditative white light. If you've experienced the meditative white light, jot down your appropriate score here. And clairvoyance or clairaudience. Here's a scene from The Wizard of Oz.
Beautiful.
Clairvoyance, of course, is seeing images from the other side, and clairaudience is hearing voices from the other side. A lot of
Right.
people get this mixed up. If you've had any of these apply to you, then you probably have a starseed connection. Now, in the Theosophical Society from Helena Blavatsky, we learned that we all have various latent powers, but because we don't exercise them or even attempt to discover what they are, and therefore we don't use them, we're oblivious to the fact that we have these powers. But those of us who are starseeds are probably using these latent powers in one degree or another. There's about 22 of them that have been discovered by the Theosophical Society. Then prophetic dreams or visions. If you've experienced any prophetic dreams or visions that have actually come to pass, then you're definitely a starseed, like Dorothy Martin, Sister Thedra of Mount Shasta, formerly of Mount Shasta. She predicted many things for the future of the earth by looking at events, prophetic dreams, and visions of a parallel earth. And then auras, if you could see and interpret auras, give yourself appropriate points in that area. Some individuals have auras so bright you need to wear special shades in the form of Kilner screens when looking at them.
Wow. Interesting.
So our future's looking so bright, Harry, that we got to wear shades.
Love it. Love, love, love it. Good.
And then the last one here is automatic art. If you can draw pictures from the other side or even other planets or distant locations by remote
Thanks,
viewing.
Chris. Let me give a shout out to Chris. He just gave us a donation. He says, great show. And we want to thank him so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Chris.
Go ahead, Raymond.
Okay. There's an automatic drawing. There's automatic writing, automatic drawing, automatic writing. We have revelations that come through people just picking up a pen and writing, and it's coming through from some higher source. At Wright, Levi S. Downing penned the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ in 1908 by a process of automatic writing while reading the Akashic records. So on behalf of the Venusian hierarchy of light, we hope that you have enjoyed and found illumination in this program. God's richest blessings to you and yours.
Nice. Very nice. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Raymond. That's really good. I'm going to change our title and change our slide that goes over the video because I thought we were doing a different show today. But I'm so excited to hear these points. And so this is in your first book, and your first book is called, show us that again.
Yes, the first book is Venus Rising, A Concise History of the Second Planet. It's beautifully illustrated, fully indexed, over 100 photos in color in there as well. You can see.
Wow, look at those. Beautiful. And
there's the rock there.
And who is the art in there by? Is it by different people or?
Yes. Although I have to say something about my latest book, The Gospels of Thomas and Mary Magdalene. Dan Gorman, an artist for Marvel Comics Group, he actually did the drawings and the illustrations for that book, all original. And I have many drawings and so forth in that book and all these books, diagrams, photos.
So you obviously, in order to put these images in your books, you see these things, right? You see them in your mind, and you have to figure out how to transmit them to us.
Oh yes. I have in doing the Gospels, I get a vision of what is happening through a long process,
right?
That we talked about previously, and then like Dan I described it, and then he came up with the actual drawings.
Nice, very cool. Awesome. Well, Raymond, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. I know we'll do more of these shows. And thank you for the 41 qualities of Starseeds, because I think we have a lot of people in our audience who certainly are Starseeds and can probably identify. I bet probably 3/4 of those things I could say, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Not all of them, but it's still really nice to see those clarifications.
Oh, well, thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate that. And once again, it's always a pleasure to be on your program. And I hope everybody will have a wonderful week ahead here, and look forward to the next show.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm going to remind everybody to breathe, smile, and love, because by so doing, we change ourselves, and by changing ourselves, we change the world. So I'm going to go ahead and play our outro song. If you want to hang out and visit for a minute after, you're welcome to, and we shall see everyone soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
And if you're feeling kind of down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are, whoa, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. I am 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Good work.